Hi, everyone. This is Kirsten Hall with Pointe Publishing. We are coming to you this afternoon with yet another new author with Pointe Publishing. His name is Icarus Parks, and we are going to chat with him about not only his books, but all about him and possibly what he's got coming up in the future. So if you've been watching our other introduction interviews, you know that we have a scripted reality TV show over here, which means he's already picked out the questions, so he knows the answers. So off we go. All right, Icarus, if you want to tell us about you and your age.
Thank you, Kirsten. Very briefly, my name is Icarus Parks. I'm 35 years old, and I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life with a book I've written with Pointe Publishing.
Very cool. All right. Well, when did you first start writing?
I think I first started writing outside of schoolwork when I took a creative writing class in high school. Some of the prompts and modules lit the match and started the fire for writing. This included mostly poetry, a couple of short stories, and one chapter to a novel that I never knew where to take. And honestly, I don't think I will, but perhaps one day.
All right. Well, what's the story behind your latest book?
The story behind my book is almost as good as the book itself. One summer, I had just finished some courses, and a friend of mine called me because they needed additional camp counselors at a Cub Scout camp. I was working the archery range, which I had gotten hired on to do, and we all had walkie-talkies to call the rover if we needed anything. One individual came over the comms and asked the rover if he could come get him so he could go kill a witch. And all of us were pretty confused by this and had no idea what he meant. But the rover went and relieved him and came back. And by the end of the day, we're all in the lodge. And I was the one bold enough to ask him, what did you mean by that? He's like, I had to go number 2. So we all busted a stitch laughing and figured it out. And in the days to follow, I had expanded upon this idea to include many, many other opponents in regards to doing your business out in the woods. So I did compile all that data, refined it, put it into a book. I asked his permission to use it, which he graciously gave me. And thus the book was born, to include a dedication to that individual at the end.
So you're using his name at the end, huh?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's good that you got permission there.
Yep.
Why do you think people should read your book?
Why? I mean, everybody poops, right? I do think the people who should read my book are people who enjoy new perspectives, people who cannot help but talk about the number 2 they just did, but need a more appropriate vocabulary to do so, as to avoid death glares from their significant other. Mm-hmm. Parents who want to give their children a colorful way to talk about their bathroom deeds in public to avoid embarrassment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anybody who goes to the restroom should definitely pick up the copy.
Well, we should ask, what is the name of your book?
The Dark Tunnel Adventure: Quest on the Throne.
Outside of family members, name one entity that supported your commitment to becoming a published author.
One friend of mine, for quite some time, I'd completely forgotten that she was a published author. I like to talk about my projects to my friends and get some feedback from them, bounce some ideas off from. And when I told her about it, she started telling me stories about her trials and tribulations of becoming an author. And it hit me that I had just forgotten that she was one. And so I asked her specifically to be my mentor in the process. That when we talk about authors, becoming an author and books, that we talk specifically about that in a very professional manner, to which she agreed. And she has been a huge boon and person in my corner the entire way.
Okay, very cool. It's good to have people that are familiar with the process that you'd be going through and to be able to talk to them.
Absolutely. She's been a fantastic help.
Cool. All right. Do you see writing as a career, and what are you working on next?
Writing as a career. I think we'll have to see how this one goes. After I've done this whole process one time, start to finish, and some of the nerves have kind of calmed down, I think I'll look back and reevaluate it, see if I want to do it. But I do have other projects, some that I think I'd like to push, maybe in a slightly different vein. I'd like to put together a book that combines fun adventure games in the family room
Okay.
and combines that with bonding over cooking in the kitchen. So ideally, I think this would have 3 volumes, one for each of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I might even develop a bonus dessert book to go with it.
Oh, well, that would be good. That would be your bestseller right there, I'm sure.
Perhaps.
All right. Well, those are the questions I have for you. Are you open to having a couple of other questions? I always try to throw in a surprise question or two, see if you can, think on your feet.
Sure. Yeah. Toss it my way.
All right. Your desk. What's your desk like? Are you an organized, chaotic person, or are you an organized, everything has to be clean? What's your desk look like?
My desk looks like I play video games a bit too much at times. Otherwise, it is definitely more of the chaotic style. It might reflect upon my writing, where everything starts in a scatter plot format and then comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely more chaotic, but tidy, and I know where everything is.
Well, you know where everything is, so there you go.
What matters?
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to ask you what your writing style was, and you put that in there too. And one other question: if you were to have a dinner party with 2 or 3 other authors, who do you think you would invite? What kind of conversation do you think would ensue?
Oh man, other authors. I mean, if I could,
Uh-huh.
like I long, deceased, but Oscar Wilde would have been fantastic from The Picture of Dorian Gray, just to pick his mind and like how he came up with that. It's one of my favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be tremendous. Otherwise, oh goodness. I'm not entirely sure about others. That one really stands out to me. I'd just
Okay.
go with Oscar Wilde if I could.
All right. Well, that would be a good one-on-one conversation then for that. Well, very cool. All right. Well, that's all I have. Can you think of anything else you want to say to the people in YouTube land?
I know are a little barren, and people have spent plenty of time in their home restrooms with quarantine and all that. So moving forward, you should pick up a copy of the book, The Dark Tunnel Adventure, Quest on the Throne, and place it in your bathroom. Get it for yourself, get it for a friend, especially your nerdy friends. They will fall in love with it. It is charming beyond belief, and not what you would expect at all from a book about number 2.
All right. Well, sounds good. All right. Well, thank you to everyone who has joined us this afternoon to talk with Icarus Parks. His book should be out hopefully, and we're trying to figure out illustrations and all that. I mean, it's already illustrated. We just have to figure out timelines. But I think it would be fabulous if this was out in time for the holiday season, because, I mean, it's supposed to be about not too big of a book, isn't it? If I
Yeah,
remember,
not too large. It'll fit on the back of your toilet tank. It'll tuck into those cute little baskets people have anywhere you want to go. It's a good stocking stuffer. Absolutely.
That's what I was going to say. It was going to be a perfect stocking stuffer size. So there you go. We're going to shoot for
Absolutely.
that. Anyway, all right. You guys have a fabulous day out in the world, and we will chat with you later. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.